Hey, welcome back to my channel. It's Plain Decoded. I wanted to make a video about this book I found called Arithmologia. It's by Athanasius Kircher. It's written in Latin, and you can see here I circled the people that this guy belongs to, the order. Um, and this book is about arithmology, kind of like numerology, the study of numbers. And this is just direct information that even this society has documented numerology, and there is gematria in here and all kinds of crazy things. This is where I also found the magic squares from, and because it's in Latin, it's hard to read. I have been using Open Chat GTP and Google Translate to sift through it, and I'll just share some quick stuff through here that I found interesting. This is the cover page, and you can see here we have the single eye and a triangle with angels around it. And this looks to be sort of a solar system around the Earth in the center on a circle. And then they have the magic square here. Okay, here we have the Hebrew alphabet and its numerology assigned to the letters. And some things are a little bit different than we've seen on the Gematrinator that I show in here. And if you have that upgraded where you can play with your own ciphers, you could do some of these. I'm going to leave the link for this book in the description. And you can see here it's mentioning the Chaldean, the Hebrew, Egypt. Here is the Greek isopsephy. Here is the numerology assigned to the letters for Arabic. Here's the first mention of Pythagoras. Here's where the squares of Saturn and the Sun and all those magic squares start being introduced. Here are where there are numbers assigned to the sigils of the planets, which also come from the magic squares. Here it mentions abracadabra in some sort of magic square or rectangle. And now here's really interesting. We have some English or Latin gematria cipher, and it does mention Cornelius Agrippa right here. And so I think this is the Agrippa key down below. And it just goes on to the next page here too. This is the first letters and numbers, the modern letters and numbers we have with a key below it. And it's also mentioning Pythagoras as well. Here's another cipher. I think this is actually the Cornelius Agrippa one, but it has A's, B, and B are both 322. So if you can add your own ciphers on the new calculator, I would throw some of these in, play with them. Here's some sort of satanic letters and numbers wheel. It mentions Satan on the top left here. Satanico, it says. And then at the end of the book here, which is interesting, it starts mentioning the number 153, and we all know that this number is associated with the order. It's like the final pages. If you want to look through this book, what I've been doing is I'll show you, highlight it, select all, because sometimes it'll copy weird, and then I'll go over to a translator. So on Google they have the translator, but it gets all crazy because it doesn't separate it, and F's in Latin are like S's, so it can miss that. Here's another method I've been using to translate this book. I'll just highlight a part of it. It's hard to highlight. Just hit select all, copy, and I post it in Chat GPT. And I'll post it in Chat GPT. And it'll give you kind of an interpretation. And if you wanted to do word for word, you have to tell it to do that. And it'll just lay it out. Even when it's like all messed up, it tries to fix it. This one is just like telling you what it's about, saying it's in broken Latin. But yeah, you can play around with Chat GPT. Here's Athanasius Kircher. He was born May 2nd, 1602, and he was a polymath. And that's a term that I've been searching on, which helps find a lot of interesting people. A polymath, it means someone who studies many things and is good at it. And here's a picture of him. Yeah, so this is really interesting text, and if anyone wants to pour through it, try their best to make sense of it. It's hard to read. I think Latin is one of the languages that they rob from us because I think it unlocks the keys to many things. Much important information is hidden in Latin. So have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.